Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel. It's United by Flavor, and we're so glad you're here. We're currently working on a series where we're uncovering the most iconic dishes from every state, and if you haven't seen our previous episodes, go check them out. For this episode, we're gonna make our way to Delaware, the first state. And Delaware is a teeny tiny state on the southeast side of the country. So the dish that I'm making today is a dish called slippery dumplings and chicken. And it's very popular in Delaware, but also very popular on the Delmarva Peninsula. Del for Delaware, Marv for Maryland, Va for Virginia. I never knew. But it's a dish that has a long history in Delaware and people really enjoy it. Obviously, there's a lot of seafood there too, but I wanted to make this dish because chickens actually have such a funny history in Delaware. In today, chickens contribute in a major way to the Delaware economy, but this massive industry was totally accidental. In the early 1900s, a woman ordered chickens for her house, primarily for the reason of laying eggs. And this was common at that time for how people use chickens. So she ordered 50, but she accidentally received 500. She ended up selling off the meat, and the rest is history. So we got to pay homage to that dish and celebrate Delaware's slippery dumplings and chicken. The ingredients for this dish are very simple. We're going to start by cooking off our celery, onions, and carrots. Don't get rid of those celery leaves. We're going to use them later. And then just saute them. I had some extra rendered chicken fat or schmaltz, so I decided to use that. But you could just use any kind of oil. And then you're going to put your chicken in there. It's important it's bone in, skin on. You could use any cut you want. I just used a whole chicken cut up, and then some thyme and rosemary. Add in your water and let it simmer until the chicken is fully cooked. Once it's cooked, take it out to rest. Now let's make the dumplings. For the dumplings, all you need is some milk, butter, flour, baking powder, and a pinch of salt. All the recipes that I followed will be linked in the description box below, so you can make this for yourself. So I'm just mixing up all the dry ingredients, and then I'm going to start combining the rest. Okay, here goes nothing. Another attempt at making some kind of dough. At least this one doesn't require yeast. So the recipe called for about 2 tablespoons of butter, and you need to mix it into the dough. So I was doing it kind of like you would do like a pie crust or something like that, where I cut it up into small pieces, and then I'm going to break that into the dough. We'll see how it works. So this is what it looks like right now, and now we're going to try and mix that in a little bit with a fork, and then we'll be adding in the milk. Literally never made so many doughs in my life as I am with this series. It's kind of interesting. Something's always with flour, and luckily this time no yeast for me, but yeah, it's just kind of interesting. I don't have that much experience doing anything like this, but I'm here for it. Okay, moving on from the fork, I'm just gonna do it like you would do like a pie crust or something. Not that I have a tremendous amount of experience doing that, or any, I don't know, but this is what I see on TV. Just breaking up the pieces of butter so they get incorporated into the flour mixture. Okay, on to the milk. This is going to then help form it into the dough and like into a ball. And the recipe said that it was like about a cup, maybe less, was the exact wording. So I'll start with almost a cup. And I'm just going to keep using my hands and we'll see. Pretty good so far. I did use slightly less than a cup. There's like a drop left. So now we're gonna start. Okay, so now I'm ready to start rolling out the dumplings, and the recipe said make sure your surface is heavily floured, your rolling pin is heavily floured, and the plate that you're gonna put them on is heavily floured. And then once you start making layers, make sure you flour between that. So I think we're good. I got like a lot of flour on the counter, so hopefully that's enough. Let's get started. And this has to be very thin. didn't want to over mix it, so we'll see if it's the right consistency. I don't know. This is something I've never tasted before. I mean, it's definitely similar to other chicken and dumpling dishes. Like, the ingredients are very similar, but the dumpling is different. Slippery dumplings from Delaware. Okay, I think I'm ready to get started. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick or so. I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. And it said to flour your pastry cutter. I don't have a pastry cutter, so I'm going to use this knife. I think I'll be fine. But, you know, obviously be very careful when you're doing this. You want to cut any fingers or anything like that. So the key here is to cut the dumplings into squares, or rectangles like this. So I'm just getting, well, that's not a rectangle, that's a triangle, but that's the edge of the circle. So you get the point. It's gonna be something like that. There we go, that looks better. So now I'm just putting them on my floured plate, and I'm gonna keep going until the rest of these are done. It's a pile of dumplings. I think we're ready to go. So the next thing to do is we're going to cook the dumplings in the broth. But before I do that, I'm going to reserve some because I want to use it for a different recipe in the future. The excess flour from all the dumplings, from putting it on the counter and everything like that, is going to help thicken this up. So I just want to take some of the broth out. Okay, so we're ready to roll. The recipe said to put one in at a time as you're mixing. I feel like that's going to take me forever. But I did make a lot, and it said you could freeze some, so I might consider freezing some of these. I don't know if we need them all. Here goes nothing. Into the pot. Now stir. I guess the point is you don't want them to stick, but if you can get like a good vortex going, that seems like it would be good. And you cook these for about 15-20 minutes. So while the dumplings are cooking, I'm going to be shredding the chicken. I just wanted to show you really quick. Look, you can see that the dumplings are already starting to puff up a little bit and change just from being in there for like a minute. Looks awesome. So this is about half of them, and I think I'm going to end up freezing the rest because this just seems like I can't fit more without them getting all stuck to each other. All right, let's finish this up. In goes the shredded chicken, and it's almost time to eat. Look at that. All right, let's finish it off with some chopped parsley and those celery leaves. Okay, here we go. It looks good. You can see how the broth was transformed when we started cooking the dumplings. Doesn't this look good? And then there's our celery leaves. Didn't want to let that go to waste. All right, I'm going to try the broth first. Here we go. I bet it's really hot. Ooh, yum. It's a bowl of comfort. It's delicious. Let's try one of the dumplings. Here we go. Oh, there's a small piece. Okay, here we go. Mmm, so good. I love it. The moment we've been waiting for. It's time for my daughter's review. Let's see what she thinks of Delaware's slippery dumplings.
It's really good.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Yum. Thanks. All right, guys, if you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I'm coming at you with some bonus content. I could not pass up the opportunity to recreate the famous Capriotti's Bobby sandwich. I've known about this sandwich for like 20 years. My brother's the one who introduced me to it, and it's awesome. Basically, you're just going to take some mayo, cranberry sauce, stuffing, and roast turkey. Delicious. Perfect for if you have leftovers. This is my own touch to it, adding the French fried onions because that's my favorite part of Thanksgiving, and I thought it would go great with this sandwich. Okay, here we go. Recreating the Bobby from Capriotti's in Delaware. And let's see. Yep, it is 8:08 a.m. We're having this for breakfast today. Bon appetit. Let's see. Yum. It's a great sandwich. Perfect way to use leftover turkey and any of the other stuff that you have left over, especially from Thanksgiving or Easter's coming up. Keep it in mind. Okay, here goes my daughter's reaction. I added more cranberry sauce to hers because she loves it.
Yum.
I hope everyone has a good morning. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! Okay, now it's time for my daughter's review. Let's see what she thinks of slippery dumplings from Delaware. Okay, now it's time for my daughter's review. Let's see what she thinks of Delaware's slippery dumplings.